Hi guys! As you can see, today I have a special guest. This is my boyfriend Pablo. Because Valentine's Day is coming, I figured it would be cute and fun to kind of share my dating experience, how we met. I don't want to sound like that we are giving advice for couples because everyone's different and we are not perfect. But since I have a few years of dating experience and I did learn a lot from there. So just want to share some of my personal tips. So I guess I'll go first and then Pablo will share some of his later. If you want to learn more about our love story, just keep on watching. If you are new here, I'm Crystal. My channel is about travel, fashion, and self-growth. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing.
And don't forget to click the bell icon right here and you won't miss any of her new videos.
Yeah! Okay, so I guess I'll start. Pablo and I, we met about 2 years ago through a dating app called Coffee Meets Bagel. Ever since we've been dating for a year and a half now. But before I met Pablo, I was using different dating apps for 2 years. And of course, I have met a lot of good people. In general, it's just nothing really lasted. So over time, to a point that I feel so confused and hopeless until one day I was talking to my mom and my mom was like, "You always look for the same type of guy. Why can't you just leave your door a little bit more open and maybe, give someone else a chance? You always look for this typical type." But obviously that didn't work out. So maybe you should give someone else a chance and maybe that person, you are not that attracted to him the first time you saw him, but you never know until you try it. So I'm usually pretty stubborn, but just because my dating life wasn't going anywhere, so I started to be more humble. And the funny thing is that after the conversation, a few days later, I connected with Pablo. And I remember back then, I saw his picture and I was going back and forth and thinking about what my mom said in my head. So if it was me before, I would just skip him because Pablo wasn't the typical type that I was searching for. But my point is, because I was thinking about what my mom said, so I was like looking at his picture. I was like, he looks not bad. He looks pretty genuine and friendly. So maybe let's try it. So I connected him and we started dating. And 2 years later, here we are sitting here doing this video. I'm not saying that, what works for me will work for you, but I'm just saying, I think the biggest takeaway I had is number one, you really need to be proactive to put yourself out there, because I would not have met Pablo if I didn't try dating app, which I was super skeptical about in the first place. But in the past few years, dating app is getting bigger because it offers a new channel for people to meet people outside of our own social circle. I'm not saying that to try online dating. Everyone's different. Maybe for you, it could be start hanging out with a new group of friends, maybe go to a wedding or join a book club. Anything, just try something, because chances are your Mr. or Mrs. Right is not going to just show up one day and knock on your door if you don't put yourself out there. So my tip number 2, leave your door a little bit more open to give someone else a chance. Maybe that person doesn't stand out to you the first time when you meet him or meet her, but you never know until you try it. So my tip number 3 is dating is not easy, but you should not lose your hope. So keep your faith and keep trying. I know sometimes you feel frustrated, you feel upset, it's not going anywhere. It's okay to stop and take a break whenever you need it. But if you just give up, you'll never find love. So are you going to say something about yours?
So my tip number 1 would be, like the Black Eyed Peas song, Meet Me Halfway. I think you need to be really engaging. So guys really like it when a girl is, responding to you, so you can have something to work off of and respond back. So that's what I really liked about you. I felt like I wasn't just feeding conversation into a black hole and then it's just waiting and then there's nothing and I have to keep figuring out ways. I would say my second tip would be about being picky. So I think that's very similar to what your tip was.
Same type?
Yeah, so people always say, oh, there's so many different people out there. There's millions of people out there. So there's bound to be one that's perfect. Could be true, but I feel like with millions of different people out there, there's a million different ways that people can be imperfect. So I guess my tip number 2 about pickiness would really be stated as decide what's most important to you about the person that you want to be with and then be picky about those things, and then don't be picky about the rest. Tip number 3 is keep trying. She said keep trying, and I agree with that. But when you're out there and you keep trying, I've heard from a lot of people that they feel like, oh, they go on dates over and over again and they feel like, it just becomes like a job, or it's just something that they're tired of, or it takes the magic out of dating. Just go out, relax, have fun, sip your cocktail, have your appetizers, get your drink. If the person ends up being like somebody that's not cool or boring or whatever, and if the person's not that great, then just move on.
Okay, so those are our tips. Well, I hope you guys, find it interesting or somehow helpful, or at least, one that hit you and make you think about it. And I think that's the purpose of us doing this video. And I hope everyone have a happy Valentine's Day. Bye.
Bye.